am Betty. Thank you so much. So excited to be here. So let's get started. I am a UI UX developer. I'm going to tell you about myself a little bit more in a few slides. I just want to get a quick feel of the room. That, and I'm also doing a sound check to make sure, seeing how my voice sounds. You can hear me well back there? I don't want to scream at you. I might come down. I'm used to much more of an intimate room. So you're going to have to work to keep track of me here. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a UI UX developer, and I live in Browser Tools. So this is very interactive. I'm used to doing meetups. I don't think they'll ever invite me to do a keynote because I love interaction. I go out and speak to the dev community because I learn just as much from you guys in these events as you learn from me. So questions, comments, if you want to throw something at me, it's all welcome. I'm good at dodging or catching things. So let's get started. This is going to be a bit crazy. I've got two devices because as a UI UX dev, I'm constantly testing multiple devices and multiple platforms. So we're going to see how all this goes and connects today. I do need to hit the start button, so bear with me. All right, Browser Tools. Who am I and why am I here? How am I going to keep you guys awake at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Thank you. Coffee. We've got coffee in the back. No, we don't have coffee in the back of the room. There's other people's coffee in the back of the room. So this is all the random stuff that I have done over my career of more than 15 years. I don't even count anymore because it kind of gives away my age. I started out as a network engineer, systems analyst. Who remembers Novell Networks? Woo! Yeah. GroupWise was an amazing, I call myself a recovering email administrator, because if you've ever been an email administrator, you never want that job again. And it's not working with the technology, it's working with the people. So, and people are great. I mean, but you don't want to get a call at 10 o'clock that the mayor can't read her email, I've been a web master. I was called a web mistress, and that made me feel very uncomfortable. Content administrator, office events, all kinds of random stuff. I've been speaking, they just keep putting me in front of people and I keep talking. So, fun fact, I am a mother of 5. One at a time. There they all are. Half of them are as tall as me. Now, when you're a mother of 5, even though you are in the tech industry, when you go to Universal and you get your picture, you just keep going. But yeah, let's go inside. I'm like, I don't got money for that. Let's go. We're going to the cafeteria. I'll take them back eventually. But we kind of went there through the day. One of my daughters has blue hair. She's kind of having fun. She's at UCF right now. But they're all spread out. So I kind of had them, herding, taking care of each other. So the last 2, the others took care of, and I just kind of managed the herd as they go. I'm also a member of GDI, which is Girl Develop It. Again, they put me in front of people and I started training them. Here's a logo parade of all the places that I've worked. I spent years at the city of Tampa, loved it. That's where I was supporting Novell Networks and setting up servers with disks. Remember, you'd set up a server and this was a box and you'd put the disks in there. Yes, thank you. Good times. And then it would crash. You have to get another box in there. So right now I'm working at Agile Thought. I absolutely love it. I am a senior UI UX dev there, working as a consultant. And a lot of the tools and things that I'm going to show you today are just things I've picked up over the years. When I worked for the city of Tampa is when I finally got into the dev world as a developer. I worked for tampagov.net, doing web accessibility, content administration. And so I started using the browser tools for IE6. Yeah, it was really ugly. So it was since then, IE has kept me gainfully employed. So I talked about my involvement, and that's actually Women Who Code. That's actually what brought me here today. I started doing web accessibility. I was hired to do audits for international websites, so I can do the screen readers and all this cool stuff on the front end, adding the JavaScript hooks for the APIs for JAWS and all those type of devices. This is a cool thing we did with Girl Develop It and Women Who Code. This is a group of girls, 2 of them are mine, and he taught functional programming. It was very cool. I wish I could have learned functional programming from him. Straight console that was in Elixir, which is similar to C. So that's how we really support the community. This we did restrict to just girls because it's middle school, you know, and the girls kind of don't want to be hassled with you guys. The older women, we're used to you know, we're married to men, we give birth to men, we're fine. So the Women Who Code, we have a really nice, happy, healthy, supportive male community that we call them advocates, but they consider themselves members, so we'll leave it at that. But we're welcome to have them. So we're going to do a ton more next year. We're part of the only Women Who Code in Florida. So we've got a couple members here today. Thanks for coming out. We have some sponsors. Actually, you are going to be a sponsor. I'm just got to send you an invoice. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna, enough about me. Let's start having fun. Let's get into the browser tools. I'm gonna be connecting devices, and I'm just gonna kind of walk you through. And again, this is gonna be interactive. So if you see me doing something and you're wondering if it can do a little bit further, ask me. But as a UX developer, I live in these, and I like to go straight to the browser tools. I use simulators every now and then, but when a bug comes back to me, it's on the native device, so I need to click through it. I need, some things are performance-based, and I'm going to show you some of those scenarios that I ran into working on some previous apps, and why it's helpful. So setting up these tools and environments and so forth. All right, what can you do? First, you need to know what you can do. Well, you can run your JavaScript functions. We can change CSS. We're going to put some breakpoints in there, injecting data, change values. We all know about the error consoles already. Mobile testing and device mode responsives views. So these are the things we're going to show today. If we have some time, I'll go ahead and show our favorite IE. Keeps us all employed. There's still IE 11 apps that we have to support, and then it was so terrible that they've renamed it to Edge. So that's why I've got 2 laptops here. Well, first off, I actually was just going to show Safari and Chrome, but Sandra, who's another Women Who Code director, she's like, you have to show Firefox for blah, blah, blah. So she asked me to show this video, hoping the audio is going to work, but Firefox does have some amazing things as well. There should be a video here. Yeah, going beyond debugging. And a quick plug for Firefox. We actually use the Firefox tools for the Kids Code Academy. Which one is that?
We used
Thimble. So it's another plugin, Mozilla. All right, let's see if this works. It's a quickie little video that shows some of the... Are you going to play? Oh, are you kidding me? Hang on. This is live. Here we go. There it is. User error.
The Firefox Debugger is a powerful tool for examining and debugging JavaScript code. In this series of tutorials, we use it to debug a simple-to-do app. Before we start, let's look at the debugger interface. Hit Option-Command-S on Mac or Option-Control-S on Windows to open the debugger. The debugger is divided into 3 panes: the source list pane, the source pane, and the tool pane. The source list pane shows all the JavaScript files related to the current page or project. The source pane shows the content of those files, and the tool pane contains sections for the toolbar, watch expressions, breakpoints, and the call stack. In our next lesson, we'll use the Firefox Debugger to fix a broken to-do app. Stay tuned for more videos in this series and check out our step-by-step tutorials on the Mozilla Developer Playground.
All right, thank you. And I heard the Developer Playground is amazing. Yes?
is this going to be in just straight Mozilla Firefox, or is it Mozilla Firefox Developer? Because they have like a browser for developers.
That's a good question. This is actually straight, can you hear me? Got the sound back on. This is actually just straight in the, I've turned on the Firefox. Let's see. Come on, wake up. So here's Firefox. This one looks like the regular, so you probably do need to install the developer, because this, if you see my screen, pull it up. This is similar to how we have it with all the other browsers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suspect it will. That's a good question. If Sandra was here, she could answer, but she had to go back because she got called back by the TSA. So she's bonding with our Floridians here. All right. But so there's more. There's also a developer playground for Mozilla that has a lot of resources for us as well. All right, so let's start getting into devices. So first off, you have to enable, and you have to go on your native devices. So I'm going to start with playing with Safari. So it's got to be run on a MacBook. And we're going to enable it. So open up Safari. I'm going to close it. All right, so in Safari, we go to Safari Preferences up at the top. And then in the Advanced tab, you have Show Developer Menu. We just turn that on. All right, now we're ready to go. So when I worked for Bloomin', we did Dine Rewards. This was a fun single-page app in Angular with a Sitefinity backend. So we have videos running for desktop, but for where's the design mode? There it is. So I'm going to turn on Enter Responsive mode. So what we did for the mobile devices, we actually turned that off. So I'm turning on design mode. I'm going to refresh it. And when I refresh it, it's going to run it with the iPhone engine. So we have some hooks in there for the code that says if it's an iPhone or if it's a mobile device, and we can talk about the difference between mobile devices and so forth. But limited bandwidth, so we don't want to have to push a video. So that's not going to, that's just going to show a basic carousel. I can click on it again and turn it. I have my touch events. There's like this Easter egg in this app. Let me show you. Come on, this touch event. Okay, so this one actually doesn't use touch. I'm using 2-finger scrolling here. So it's got this cool little redeem now. There's a promotion here. So this is using, I think it's Bootstrap Grid. See how good my memory is. I'm going to do, I'm right-clicking or control-click. And now I can open up the rest of the developer consoles. And this is where all the goodness happens here. Boop. Stretch it open. So I can see UI bugs, I can check alignments and so forth. But what about when I want to start really getting into things? So I can use my selector and go in there. And it's actually going to highlight the piece of the code, which is really helpful. So I can see the classes used. Well, what else is in here? I've got my debugger, which is going to show a lot of the files. And I'm going to show more in depth on the Chrome debugging. I've got my console log. Now, in any of these browser engines, we can do a lot of stuff in the console. It's just basic JavaScript. So I'm going to copy mathpy into there, enter, and it gives me the answer for pi. Woohoo! So as part of this, I can also inject and mess with the images as well too. So this gives me some cool ways of seeing. Again, you're going to have to hit refresh, and it will change the browser engine on these. I haven't played with IE. Again, they have these tools in here. It's supposed to render it in the other browser engines. These are really good checkpoints, but I always encourage you to go back to the single source of truth. So if you have an IE bug, open it in IE. These are kind of helpful engines when you're just doing a developer check type of thing. So this is Safari. Now let's take it to the next level. We've got an IE bug on touch events, so let's go there. Okay, so let me open up so you guys can see what I'm doing. It is QuickTime. So if you ever give presentations and you need to show your computer, your device, you actually hit a new recording, and you have to see yourself for a second. But once it's plugged in, you should see your phone. Come on. Oh, really? You're not going to work now? And if that doesn't work, check your cables. Here we go. More cables. The quality of your cables matter. This is actually part of the demo to show that you need to have good quality demos, or good quality cables for your demos. But thank you, AccuSoft, for this little dongle. So once you have a good cable, come on, yeah. There we go, Elizabeth's iPhone. Okay, so here I am. Thank you. I know. Yay. Oh, it crashed. This is real time, guys. This is how it works. This is life with these devices. They're very finicky, and setting up your environment, you just need to be patient about. So if you have a bug and you don't have your environment set up, just tell them, just double the estimate on how long it's going to take if you don't already have it set up. Because it's fun. All right. There we go. Yay, we're here. So now you can see me moving things real time. All right, this is great. So, well, this is helpful, but I'm just showing you my screen. I need to start doing browser debugging. So I've got my developer tools turned on. I'm going to go to develop, and once it's connected, you're going to see it. There it is. Somewhere in here. Come on, Chrome, find my device. This is why I wanted to do it real time, to show you that this is real time. Come on. It should show up in your user agents. Oh, stop it. I'm going to turn this off for a second so it can find my phone. Find my phone. And I notice if I talk to the devices, it seems to help. Find my phone. Not you, Siri. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. Again, plug it in again. Oh, it appeared for a second and then it disappeared. I might not be able to show the recording on this, but I'm probably gonna, yeah, it's like vibrating crazy on me. So we're gonna turn off QuickTime, but I can go ahead hopefully and show you the browser console here. Let's try that. Come on. There we go, yay! So it did not like QuickTime and developer console, so whoa, it's like coming in and out here. There we go. So in developer, your phone will appear. Come on. Oh, and of course, only because I'm in front of people, it just stops. Go away for a moment. There we go. Come on, you can do it. I think iTunes just wants to take over our presentation. It's not about iTunes. It's not about you. All right, I'm going to do one last valiant effort. But basically what it does is I have some screenshots. There's always the fallback. So we do have it, you know? I know what the issue is. So this is real-time debugging. QuickTime. I'll show you what I'm going to have to do on this device. All right, so I'm in my settings tab, and we're going to go to Safari. Then way down at the bottom, we've got advanced. Can anybody see why this wasn't working? Yes. I wanted to show you how to turn it on. I just forgot. All right, so this is how we turn it on. This needs to be turned on and Safari needs to be turned on. So now I think we're going to be much more successful. Let's try this again. Hey, my iPhone's there now. Yay. All right. It does not show you the front of it, but I can go ahead and dive into the DOM on my device. When I say DOM, it's just document object model. Let's go into the element. So I'm actually on this page, and I can scroll over certain areas of it, open things up again, I have the network tab, the time list, the debugger, and this is, as I change pages, let me go up to the top here. One of the bad things about me working as a consultant right now, I'm working on a lot of projects that I have to do non-disclosures. So I can't show you the projects I'm working on because they're big, boring accounting apps. But what I can show you is a lot of the tools that I use when I'm debugging them. So again, we've got our network, we've got our DOM elements. And then as I select the DOM elements, so let's say I want to go ahead and look on the organizers tab. I'm on the organizers page of our lovely site. It'll pull me over there, and then it'll show me in highlighted. All right, so I want to start looking at some of the, there's no console there, so that's good. I'm actually trying to look at some of the styles. And I don't use Safari that often, so I think I'll switch over to Chrome. Chrome is kind of my go-to for a lot of these things. Now, again, if I'm working in iPhone, I need to use iPhone. I need to work in the iOS and on a MacBook Pro for debugging. So if we've got console logs, we can look at all of the source files as well too, which is over here. And then we can show the indentions as well too. All right, this is kind of boring. Let's move on to the Chrome tools, which are a lot more interesting to be. There's not too many. Once with the compilers, and as long as you're using a good, healthy, responsive grid, I haven't seen too much except for when I was actually doing Dyn rewards. We had a lot of interesting things because we were still supporting iPhone 5. So I had to debug and run some things in iPhone 5 as well. Hey, there you go. That was some fun stuff in here. And all the links there. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions regarding just basic connectivity for your iPhones and hooking it up for Safari debugging? We're good. All right, cool. Let's move on. So for Chrome, how many of you have used Chrome debugging tools? Awesome. So let me skip ahead to some of the more interesting aspects of it, shall we say. Obviously, if we just hit F12, it opens and closes. Some of the fun things that I like to show to newbies, I'm going to go to, actually I'll do this on DevFest. One of the fun things that I like to play with is console. I can go document, is it design mode? Yeah, design mode. All right, so I'm going to go to document design mode. There's times when I'm showing a client a website and they get stuck on something. You know, they get stuck on maybe the title of a menu item, like, well, it really should be this, or the color's not right for something. So if you switch it quickly over to design mode, we can have it so that they're stuck on, hang on, I have to hit enter. There we go. Design mode's off. So let's turn it on. And it's just like your terminal. You can go up and down arrows. It remembers all of your commands. So I'm going to do design mode equals on. Okay. So now if I want speakers to say presenters, it is this easy. I deleted too much and got rid of the font, but that's okay. So I can kind of change things on the fly and move on regarding text as well too. So let's say that they misspelled my name. Oh, thank you. They misspelled, oh really? Well, we'll do it here then. So this is another odd way of spelling BT. I think that's the British way of doing it. So there's ways that we can change things on the fly. That's actually been pretty useful. The things I like, especially as a UI developer, is I can select an area and say, ooh, I like that font and I like that padding that's used on there. So I spend a lot of times in the styles. Oh, I see an important tag. That makes me a little bit nervous, but But what can we get out of looking at this? I like to get into websites, especially ones that I like, and say, ooh, how is it made? I can go into the sources and say, what's in here? What can I get? I can pull out their images, their logos, and this is nicely organized, so it's pretty easy to find things. So if I want to grab an image, I can open a new tab. I think I can, yep, I can left click, right click and hit save on any of these images. The CSS files. I can also use JavaScript and inject my own CSS as well too. All right, so another thing that is interesting as a front-end dev, ooh, fonts. They've got their web font right here. What can I do with this web font? It's a custom font. It's also licensed. I'm a devious person. I can, because this isn't encrypted, I'm getting Mike's attention. Do you do this website, Mike? Okay. I can go ahead and save this WAF file, and I can convert it into a native file so I can actually steal that font and have it on mine. Download it. So one way to avoid this is, how many of you are using Webpacks? Webpacks now? Okay. So in Webpacks, have you used Grunt or Gulp? Yes? No? Come on, you guys. Are you awake? All right, thank you, thank you. Throw me a bone. I was just fighting with Safari. Give me some sympathy here. So we can do that. We can use Webpack to go ahead and encrypt our files. You can also, and one of the things that we did on Dine Rewards, because we had purchased, Bloomin' Brands had purchased fonts. Fonts can actually be very expensive. It's very much part of their branding. So letting people steal them is not good. So we actually did a reference. So in the CSS, we did that as an import. So it was an import of an import file. So you wouldn't see it. You'd really have to dig through the network tabs to see it. And then there's other encryptions. It's called obfuscate. Don't ask me to spell that. But if you look up font obfuscate. Yes, I have some stickers for you. See me at the end. Yes. So you can go ahead and hide your files there, because there's devious front-end devs like me that love to get ideas and pull off beautiful fonts. That's a licensed font as well too. So I can do that. What else can I do from the front? I can see what libraries they're using. Looks like they're using some Google fonts as well too. And in the network tab, I can see all these as well. So I can grab it from the network. This is the other way to secure your fonts is if you're using them from Adobe's font products that you purchase, and you add an encrypted link. You add a link that you can't download. I've tried to. I'm sure there's other ways to hack it, but I've tried to do some basic hacking to get to it. So I can pull off images. I can pull off logos. Let's go ahead and look. As a UI developer, I like to look at color. So let's say I want to change the color. A lot of these have color swatches in them that I can change and try out things as well, too. And I actually had some sample code on the other one, the other computer, on how to just inject and change the background color as well too, because anything you want to do, you're going to have to do in JavaScript if you want to update the DOM, and you're basically just updating an image of it. So anytime you hit refresh, everything will be gone. So I'm still in document mode, and let's have some more fun. Let's go to where are you? It's my other tab. There we go. Where's my UI grid? It's grid UI. So, oh, I want the UI for this. See what happens when you do too many things before your presentation. I just wanted to show some live examples and how I am using this to debug Angular code. So let me pull up. I was working in Angular UI Grid. How many of you have used that plugin? Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's actually pretty cool. You can do all kinds of things, especially when you're working with data it's very helpful. There it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, couple things. So I had to learn this API for Angular. I'm currently an Angular dev. Next week I'll be, or a couple years from now, I'll be a developer of a library that's not even written yet, and that's the life of a front-end developer. So this grid allows you to do some basic filtering and sorting and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's all great. I need to know how to adjust some of it. So obviously when somebody integrates a library, we're going to go and start learning it and so forth. So one of the things I like to do is we're going to go to some of the code. I'm going to hit F12 to open the dev consoles. All right, I want to start figuring out what this code's doing. So I can go to the sources. I can go to let me go to the other page. It's actually the tutorial page that has it best. Come on, catch up. So in the sources tab, I've got, stop it, the docs. I want to get into the JavaScript and I want to start debugging some of it. There's a cool little feature in here. So if the files are minified, you can actually unminify them with this little button here. See this little, the squigglies? So anytime you do want to look at another website and the code's minified, there's a button to unminify. All right, so some of the cool things we can do, I always like to hijack the scope because some of the projects I work on, they have what we call scope soup. And this is in Angular when kind of controllers bleed scopes to other things. So I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint. I put a breakpoint in by selecting the file. I'm going to just select a variable to stop it. We'll hit refresh. And of course, I hit something that didn't doc setup. Come on. These are all of the JSON files that we have. On the update function, let me just get, come on. One of the things I do, because I'm new to a project and I just dig through the DOM. Oh, there's no plugin on this page. That's great. All right, so now I finally hit it. So I can mouse over this is what I spend a lot of time in. I mouse over, and then I can dig in through the data model. I can see, oh, the data's there, it's actually up in the parent scope. No, if you find yourself having to do scope.parent, stop and pass the variable in or use a service or something else. But I can go ahead and start digging through a lot of the data. I can also go through on the right-hand side and see the various instances of it and go through. And a lot of times when I have bugs and stuff, a lot of times in this scenario, for example, when I go over it, some of the dependencies are undefined. So this is kind of how we can use the browser tools to crawl through Angular. And there's no plugin required for the scope because this is Chrome, and Angular's Chrome. So I can use a lot of these tools here to debug it as well. Again, even if it gets a little bit more complicated when the files are on a CDN, but if you're doing your local dev environment, you would set that up correctly anyway. So what's next? Let's go ahead and hook up some devices. So again, I have a bug that I need to go through on the Android device. So I'm going to hook up a toggle for it. And this, I've practiced more, so this should definitely work. I'm going to open up a new tab. And within developer tools, there's an extra little hook. It says more developer tools, because I need more tools. Thank you. And then I'm going to go to remote devices. Hang on. All right. Remote devices. And then it pulls up this little console. So you can see it right here. I've got a Nexus 6 and it's connected. Yay. All right. And then from there, I just click on it. Now I can enter, I've got the device right here, so I can go ahead and open up anything I want. I'm going to actually go ahead and click on the Dine Rewards as another example. Oh, come on. Let me open up Florida DevFest again. Okay, come on. And then I hit open. So it'll open it on the device as well. And then I can hit inspect because I liked it so much I can do it twice. One of the nice things about when this is in there, it actually does give me a preview. Come on, there we go. So here I can see the device here, which is really nice. Again, we can select different elements of there. I really like Chrome, and then it gives you a tree to the DOM element, so I can walk the tree, as we say. And again, I can look at all of my sources. I can change the color. I can change the text. I can really kind of stress the DOM. The other things that's really helpful is I can see how on the device is it dealing with all of the data that's coming in as well. I can see the performance and the memory. And many instances I've crashed. I've crashed the mobile devices as well too, especially when you're signing in, you're signing out, and it's hitting various APIs as well. So I've got everything except now I'm on the native device. So I can do, I really like how Chrome does it, because when I get a preview of the device, I get kind of this interesting mixture. You know, I don't have to have any other tools, and I can start debugging, putting some breakpoints in again, checking the memory allocations and so forth as well too. React is a similar. Does anybody have a React site that I can go to?
We have a React site you can go to.
Yeah, we do. What's the URL?
Rima.heroku.app.com.
Rima. Oh, you're gonna have to help me spell Heroku again.
Yeah, Rima, H-E-R-O-K-U app.
I put hero. That's not right. Rima, R-E. Heroku. I got that part. Heroku.
Okay, it's hero.
Oh, okay, I got that
with
part.
a
KU. Dot app.
No, just kuapp.com.
Oh, and it took me there. Stop it. Heroku.app or
No dot app, just herokuapp.com.
All right, cool. Yay. Stop. I'm an iPhone.
Yeah.
There we go. Come on, paste it. Paste. Go. Oh, it's loading. So in React, we can do the similar things. We can go ahead and use the browser tools to change the text, to add things as well too. Some helpful things that I've done is when I do hijack the DOM and I put the breakpoint in there, you can actually inject data sets in there. So sometimes there's scenarios where QA reports a bug and the data set is actually on QA. So what I'll do is I'll put a breakpoint in, and did you see how I just used the console equals, and I can set the variable. So after the promise or the observable gets returned, I'll just hijack it and put data equals, and I'll put my own data set in there. So that's another way I can stress the DOM. All right, so we're here, and we can go in, and again, can always edit the text within the DOM. Hello, world. This is how I used to do it without document. This isn't anything to do with Angular, but React. And we do have the Angular. Where is, I think, you know what? We didn't set this up with the source maps for React. So we're actually, yeah, this is a good demo of how we can't do that one. Thank you, though. Because we didn't set up the source maps for Webpack. This was a simple proof of concept app that was a luggage tracker. But it's a similar scenario with React. We can actually just go into the source files and change things real time as well too. So, can anybody think of a scenario as you were building apps and testing them where browser tools were helpful as well too? Or any other ways that you've used it to solve problems, whether it's data sets.
I've used it to pause Ajax requests to see what's going on.
To pause Ajax requests. So you would do that through the network tab, right?
I go into the sources and go under the XHR request and pause it that way.
So we were going, I'm speaking secondly. So we go under sources and
Go to the right and then go to XHR breakpoints on the right. Right there.
awesome.
But there's no
Breakpoints.
Ajax, so it's not gonna.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the Ajax calls. That's a, let me hit refresh on this one. I've actually used this. Let me go to a site that's pulling a bunch of APIs, because what I've done on the console is look at these API requests and open them up to see, do I have the right dependencies in there? Am I setting it up correctly? I can see the previews and so forth. That's probably one in here too. Pretty much every website.
You can remove overlays from paywall sites.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You can remove overlays from paywall sites.
You can remove overlays. That is another beautiful hack. Yes. Was it Groupon is really annoying with those, for sure.
It's to audit the website to see if there's any flaws or CSS issues.
I need to say that again for the recording. That was
The audits,
the audience.
yeah, the second one from the last tab.
The audits.
Pretty much running the same thing that Google Insights does. So we want to scan your
So I can have all the Google Insights on the audits. Nice. Is this going to take a while if I hit run?
page, but usually
Yeah, you can do anything.
Okay, it goes real quick.
It'll tell you about
Nice.
accessibility, performance.
And that's built into it too. I used to have to run separate accessibility tools and checks, so there's a lot in there. I think the biggest thing as I work with them is one, I need to know what it can do, and two, I need to be creative in thinking of ways to utilize it to solve my problems. You know, and I think what are some other creative ways other than me like hacking the DOM and injecting, you know, one variable or equals something else to put a data set in? What are some other ways?
Well, there's no other ways, but like as like a code newbie, because I just went through the code school like this summer, like we use it all the time because, and now I'm a back-end developer, so for the front, like when we had to do projects with the front end, that's basically how we just had to just hack it out, just see what's happening. Like it was our saving tool.
I use the in getting the source maps to the LESS and the SAS files as well too is extremely helpful. Oh, there you go. So now we got our accessibility report. Very nice. That must be a new one as well too. The Lighthouse. So Lighthouse open source.
And then for what she said, you can see all the headers
Mm-hmm.
in the network tab. So if you're working with your back-end team and you're having some issues with cores or other things, it's really important to look through those headers, make sure that you're right, accept headers, and what that just said.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Let me try to pull up an example of one that we can, that we can see. These are all JavaScript. Come on. But that is, it's another tool that we can utilize. Oh my goodness, this is like going crazy on me. I can't grab anything. Let me stop it. We can stop it. We can clear it. I want to demonstrate where we can show the headers and the responses from the APIs. A lot of these are static. This one definitely should. These are WAF files. There we go. So here's the Google trackers on here. It's actually not till you sign in does it actually hit the APIs on this. Let me go ahead and sign in. Actually, you can see it as soon as I sign in. It validates my. So here's the call, check email. So let's see. when we're writing that call, we can see what we're setting up. So here's what he was talking about regarding the requests, and here's your payload. So that's all that our code is sending. So one, we want to make sure that the payload's getting there correctly. And then from there, we can look at the preview, authenticated. These are the flags and everything we're sending to the request, and then here's the response as well too. So that's what we're talking about regarding making sure that we're connecting to the API, that we're getting what we expect that we're getting out, because sometimes I'll get a UI bug and I can't say, oh, it's not my problem. I've tried, it doesn't work. So I have to, politely saying, hey, by the way, the API is no longer returning what we thought it was, and that's why the UI and then is broken.
And just building on that, it seems like going any further debugging-wise, it makes sense to move this over to Postman and make a request through there.
It does,
But,
using Postman or Swagger, other
if you have
things.
a tight iteration cycle here, and let's say you're not just posting an email address, because it's a very long form field and you don't want to fill it out again, right-clicking on the request on the left-hand side, including replay XHR, is a tremendously valuable tool. On the left-hand side where it says check email in the list.
On the left-hand side,
There we go, right-click on that guy and replay XHR. I'll resend it.
nice. Yay.
So if that's a long form field, you don't have to refill it back in.
Very nice. So what he was saying, just to reiterate for the recording, is that if we want to hit it again without having to reload this page, without having to enter the data on the DOM again, we can hit particular events as singletons to validate that. Well, thank you guys. I learned a few things, and hopefully you guys see a couple of tips and tricks as well too.
If it's when you normally manipulate the DOM nodes in the elements tab, normally, like if you use a jQuery, you have to know the class name or ID of the element. And if you want to repeat same thing in different elements, there's a quick shortcut for $1, which represents the elements selected on the elements tab.
Nice.
Console and the elements at the same time.
So I'm going to do console. What was that?
If you go to elements tab,
Elements tab.
which will open console at the bottom.
I'm at the bottom. I'm going to go to console. Okay.
Normally, if you want to point out body, you can say $, body.
Yes, I can do the selectors. Oops. Here.
But the short form is if you do $1, it means the element is currently selected.
Nice. So if I want, I have this one currently selected.
$0.
So $0 because it's the first item in the array. There we go. Very nice. Very cool
So
tricks.
if you have a function in console, you can click on different elements and then run the same function with arrow sign, and then repeat the same function on that element.
Beautiful. There's a lot of hacks that save us a lot of time. What I use it for is, especially when I'm given a bug, I need to triage it. So it really helps me to go through the browser tools and get an idea of the severity of it and help figure out where within the app is the real problem. I appreciate your time today. Thank you guys so much. And keep hacking your DOM.